Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo. It is Tuesday and I am here for Oyasumi PunPun. The sound is going to sound a little weird for a second because I've got the air conditioner running and I'm making a second batch of tea, so forgive me for that. My voice will sound a little distorted, and that's because there's background sound, and I'll be doing what I can in post to get rid of it, but I gotta get going. I don't have time to wait because I want to read some PunPun. I didn't read PunPun last week. There's a reason for it. You can go find the reason in the Daily Brew episode titled Being is Good. The reason is because someone I know knows, so not someone that I know directly, but someone I'm one place removed from committed suicide, and I needed to talk about that. And it seemed like more important than talking about any piece of media that I could read. I needed to talk about it, and I'm sorry for the PunPun people, but it was necessary. Go watch that video. You might find that the things you were looking for me to say about PunPun, I might have said about something else. Hell, go watch all the Daily Brews. I hope you will, because I think they're worthwhile. I know they're not for everyone, but I think they're worthwhile, and I'm making them for that reason, and I wouldn't be making them if I didn't think they were worthwhile. So I'm sorry it's been a mess this past few weeks. It will continue to be a mess, because I'm a mess, and I'm cleaning it. And when you clean your room, you have to disassemble everything to really clean it. And it looks like hell in the process, and it is. And I've been actively engaging with that hell for the last while, and it's pretty interesting, and it's pretty different. And part of it is spurred by the stuff we've learned in PunPun. And part of it is spurred by the stuff we've learned from other things, and part of it is spurred by stuff that I've just learned. But all of it's interesting. All of it's interesting. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go back a little bit, just to get our context, and then we'll move forward. Our goal is to move forward today. We're going to go back to here. Because this is the standout to me. Well, there are two standouts. There's this stuff, and then there's the Pegasus stuff here at the end. Turning him into everyone's god. Being brave and stepping out into the future. I've never seen such a beautiful scene. And he looks up and he says, "So let me just say, I absolutely trust you. It's not a question of whether I can believe in the lovers. I was being tested on what I wanted to believe in. Yes, you can achieve anything you want." And the god that he's looking at now is the poop god, the bullshit god. That's pretty interesting. He's got the big comical lenses as well. And then, of course, Muho has God in his eyes. He can only see one truth, one absolute, and he can't see beyond it. And he hasn't joined with it effectively, and he's forcing a particular path into place. I was thinking about the scene where he goes after the black dot. It's like he's got this perspective on the world, and he's trying to find the things that already fit his perspective, and that's wrong. Because what you do is you have this perspective on the world, and you find the things in your perspective that don't fit the world, and then you delete them from your perspective, because the world isn't wrong, usually. And so if you've got this presupposition that the world fits into lovers and black dots, well, maybe some of that is true, but maybe some of it's false. And what he's done over and over is say, no, I have to find the real truth because I know that the vision that I had before is correct. But he doesn't know that the vision that he had before is correct. He just assumes that it was. And visions should be changed by interpretation and by experience. That's the problem with them, is that they're isolated. If you have a particular vision of the world and you write it down, you're like, this is my guideline to all of existence. Well, it's not going to work very well because the world is crazy. And you, no matter how transcendentally, ethereally, psychic, and able to predict the future you're not Laplace's demon, and you can't determine all futures. No chance. We love to go and look back at sci-fi and say, like, wow, they really predicted the future. Well, first off, I think sci-fi is the manifestation of the dream that creates the future, not predicts it. They're the same thing. Because if enough people go, wow, that's a cool idea, let's make it happen, it gets happened. It done be happening. It happens. It was science fiction to go to the moon, and then we made it science fact because enough people believed hard enough that they changed the world, and that's pretty cool. So there's this balance between, like, enforce your patterns upon the world and determine what your patterns are by the world. You gotta balance that shit, because you're just an ant. You're just a human. But this is what we get. This is what we get when Big Bro Muho elevates a human to a god. And this guy is being elevated to a god on high, and it's weird. He's got these big lenses, and he's doing this sort of Superman cry thing, where he's crying about the people he can't completely save, and about the decisions he's going to make. Then we have her digging her face into his black and white stripes. And the leaving, and the next day, and the dreams, and the statement, then I wish that there would never be any more shooting stars ever. No dreams, no point in wishing. dark as hell. We talked about that. That's the darkest thought, I think. I think it's the darkest thought. No dreams for me, because mine don't work, but no dreams for anybody else either. Fuck all of you. You know why? Why? Because you dreaming and you achieving it demonstrates to me that I fucked up. Because maybe if I had pursued my dreams and I'd actually put my work in, maybe I wouldn't have failed. Because you know when you gave it your all and that's just an excuse and you really didn't. You know it. And I know it too, and I've done it before, and I've fucking been miserable because of it. And it brews resentment. It brews resentment toward life and being, and toward the feeling of dreams in general. And I posit in the Daily Brew episode, this is a leap, but I have to connect these dots. I posit in the Daily Brew episode that feeling of dreams don't work, mine don't work, yours don't work either, and yours shouldn't work either, and I wish nobody could dream. I posit that is the exact sentiment that leads young men in America, where it's happening the most, young men in America to go and buy or steal guns and shoot as many people as they can before they die. Kill as many dreams as possible. Shoot out as many shooting stars as they possibly can before they take themselves out of this miserable existence that they've created for themselves. That's unacceptable, and that's why I needed to talk about it. It's the same idea. It's the same line of thinking. And so here's the warning. My warning. I don't know anything, but I know this. If you think like PunPun thinks here, I wish that there would never be any more shooting stars ever. And if you lie to yourself and you couch it as like, oh, I'm a positive nihilist, I believe that nothing matters, but really that means that I'm just free to do whatever I want. Well, maybe that'll work for you for a little bit, but you need to fix your shit real quick. Because being is good, and believing this means more being is going to get killed. Believing this means stopping being. And believing it in not being. And believing that being is bad, and it's wrong, and it's evil. It's an evil thought. No more shooting stars for me or for anybody. No more dreams. Big ceilings, big boxes. Nothing interesting for any of us. Only hell for you and only hell for me. And if you believe in hell that much, I say hell, but I think we've talked about this enough to know that when I'm saying God, I mean conscience, like internal God unity, being, oneness. Okay? And when I say hell, I mean inside you. I mean the feeling that his uncle was in for years, that was hell. And now PunPun's in it, and he's a devil, and he's part of it. Man, this fucking shit is good. You see these dreams of these people. We see the food, and she eats. Because you eat. She might still have a hole in her fucking stomach, and she might be dying, and I don't know, because they haven't dealt with it, I don't think. Yo, PunPun, and there he is. And yo, he says, and yo, he replies. Hi, me. Hi, God. Hi, Shadow. Hi, Unconscious. Hello. And so we get PunPun as PunPun, and PunPun watching PunPun, and PunPun as God. And they are one, and he wears white stripes and black stripes now, because he's both, but he's not in harmony, because that's also the symbol of trauma. And he embodies it now, at least in part. I'm just me, after all. Always have been, always will be. Yeah, exactly. And it's hilarious when you figure this one out. Like, holy shit, it was me the whole time. I had this revelation because it was like, man, that part of me that does these things that I don't like, you know, addictions specifically, because I have an addictive personality in some ways. That part of me is not me. Oh, wait. Yeah, it is. Guess what? If it's a part of me, then I'm in control of it. And I can change it. Wow. I had a similar conversation between my roommate and I. And I got really, really mad at him. And it's the first time I've been really upset at him to his face. And he got a little surprised. And very well. Because I get very calm when I'm very upset. But the thing was this. He said a thing to his mother. And the thing caused her to explode. Because he used his words poorly. He chose them poorly. And he does this all the time. Because he has no idea that he can affect her. And that was what I said to him. I said, you're responsible for the way that she acted last night. What you did caused that. And he said, I'm not responsible for my mother's actions. And I went, bullshit, liar, coward. Yes, you are. And until you believe that you are, you won't be. Man, something really interesting happens when you call a man a coward to his face. And you mean it, and you're right, and he knows it. It hurts. It hurts, and you gotta be really careful with it, because men will swing on an instant like that. It's like calling their mother a bitch. You don't do it. You don't do it unless you're careful. I was really careful about it, but I was really mad. And he was being really cowardly. And so I said it. And I still don't think he believes it. But he's started acting like it might be true. Like he's questioning the possibility. Like maybe if I treat my mother with a little bit of care, maybe she won't explode. And she's not exploding as much, and it's working. But this idea, taking the responsibility for it, recognizing that it's a part of you and that you can alter it, well, you can control it. She doesn't know what he's talking about, of course. Of course not. Delicious laugh. Empty stomach. No, the stab wound. From here on out, maybe he should just feel and act however he wanted. Maybe. I don't know why he's got that long nose here. I really don't know. Beyond this ending wasn't hell or despair, even if the sound and fury was a momentary fuss about nothing. And through the hole he sees her, and the landscape. And she needs to pee. Because she's become physical and grounded. She's eating, he's not. And he's peeing, she's not. I guess that's the thing. He peed while they were at the rest stop, and she ate. It's interesting. We move on from here. Girls' butts. So PunPun's checking out women. It's interesting, isn't it? Maybe I should just feel and act however I want. Ass. You know? Like, actually. PunPun, you were gone a long time. I was rewrapping the bandage on my stomach. And I got my period. I had a chance to think clearly. Even if we find a place in Kagoshima where we want to stay, what are we going to do about all the papers we need for signing a lease? The license plate on the car is from way out of prefecture, which is sketchy, and we can't re-register it because it's my mom's car and I don't have those papers either. We need a more realistic plan. If you do something impulsive, then we'll both regret it. I really need you to think this through, especially because you're not the sharpest. I'm not as stupid as you are. Whoa, man. Whoa, man, remember we're in this together. Don't push away the only person you've got. The one that you did all this for, don't push her away. And he might, because he views himself as dangerous. This becomes a hedgehog's dilemma, maybe. Shit. Hey, don't get on my nerves. If I up and decide to go to the police, you're in trouble. Our relationship right now is built on trust. Yeah, they're Bonnie and Clyde. Do you get it? You need to earn a strong bond of trust with me, implying that he hasn't. Y'all are bonded, man. Y'all can't get it. Okay, so this is neurochemical and serious, right? It's vasopressin, oxytocin, the whole shebang. They have fucked, which is serious, and then they have gone through the most stressful event of either of their lives probably together, which is double bonding. They're bonded. If Asana writes them not being bonded, that's a problem. Then what do you want me to do? Can I gouge out one of your eyes? You only need to see me, PunPun. I think one eye is better for that. Okay, this is the point in the show where I have to go look up what a one-eyed Daruma is, because I don't know what that represents. And suddenly, like, we've had the idea that PunPun is the thing that Pegasus is talking about, right? They're the lovers. Aiko and PunPun are the lovers, and it's all this duo allegory god situation thing. That's my idea, at least. Is that we've got two echoes of a thing going on, just like you get the laughing men in Katana Zero, the masked duo. One-eyed Daruma. And if that doesn't come up with stuff, Daruma doll. Often blank when sold. The recipient of the doll fills in one eye upon setting the goal, then the other upon fulfilling it. In this way, every time they see the one-eyed Daruma, they recall the goal. In order to motivate Daruma-san to grant your wish, you promise to give him full sight once the goal is accomplished. This idea might have something to do with enlightenment, the ideal attainment of Buddhism. And it is led to the phrase in Japanese translated as both eyes open, referring to opening the second eye. It expresses the realization of a goal. While it was purchased as a household item, only the head of the household would paint its eyes. Wow. And they're weighted so that they always return to an upright position when tilt. God, what a cool symbol. Fucking Japan. Fucking figuring shit out. It's a cool symbol. It rocks, so it always stands itself up. So it's always standing up. Even if you knock it down, it still gets back up and moves toward its goal. And it doesn't, so the issue is that she's doing it backwards. She's trying to cut out one eye to make him one-eyed so that he sees the goal, but that's not how it is. You take someone eyeless and you give them sight, and then you give them complete sight when they've completed the goal. You don't take someone with eyes and blind them. He's already opened his eyes, that's the issue. But she wants to take his eye, and he might let her. I think one eye is better for that. God, she's fucking crazy. You're right. So he'll let her. Huh, and we have her pen going through her eye. What's up, Kanye? You sound like a pig. Same as always? Sure. It's being serialized. They're telling me 5 chapters by the end of next week. I'm seriously dying here. So she got what she wanted. PunPun? I went to his place since our last conversation felt a little like a fight, but he hasn't been back there since. I didn't go to the hospital after all. I'll probably end up just having it. Right. She didn't go. Wow. Not sure, really. Huh? Looking for him seems a bit much. It's not like he's going to die. There are only so many places PunPun can go, so he'll be back eventually. I don't know about that, man. I'm telling you, I don't know. He can do whatever he wants, wherever he wants. Sorry, I'm up against a deadline right now, so can I talk to you later? Yeah, other people have their own shit going on. I'm not stupid enough to be manipulated by emotion. Yeah, you are. Right now, I just need to do what I need to do. She's got a picture of what looks like her ex-boyfriend or her ex-husband scribbled out. Oh. Hello, Mimura? Do you know where PunPun is? Holy shit. You're always the same. You're a bitch who lets me down over and over again. If you're going to do it right. Go in deep like you're scraping it out. But PunPun, I love you so much. So she didn't do it. And you get an infinite looped penis of PunPun, right? That's what that is. At least that's how I think of it. Tied up in knots. This looks like the type of knot where you pull the string and it all unravels instantly. I'm not sure that it is, because it looks like this actually crosses over properly, so it would tighten. But it looks kind of like that kind of a knot. Which is interesting. Whoa, man. Asano, these are cutouts. Look at that. You see that? He cut these out of paper and then put them on the surface of the white black behind. What the fuck, dude? This is part collage. You can just tell by the way it's layered. What the fuck, dude? How many of these things did he cut out? Oh, and it's the one eye. At least I think it is. Good night, PunPun. One eye, part 12. Huff, 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 huff. Ah. 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 But, PunPun, I love you so much. Love you, love you. Love, love, love. Ah! Ksh. Love, love. Aiko, you can't be half-assed about this. Okay. I accept all of you from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. Okay. Get more real, Aiko Tanaka. Every frame is asymmetrical, man. We're way off angles now. Sachi, hey, Mimura is here. Chupa chupa, ha. Well, Kanye told me some of it, so I kind of know what's going on. No, you don't. The mini-mart or the video store where he works, Mr. Shishido's house, an arcade or an electronics store, those are about all the places he might go. I've basically been to all of them. What about friends you have in common? Maybe he's staying with someone? We've pretty much lost touch with everyone from high school. Seriously, Onati with friends? There's just you and me. We're the only ones he'd reach out to. You know how he is. I mean, what's up with not having a cell phone in this day and age? Yeah, you're right. How long has it been since you lost touch with him? Maybe I just keep missing him, but it's been at least 3 or 4 days since he's been back to his room. You worry too much. He's a proper warrior. He's doing his warrior thing. Yeah, for sure. Like Odin getting his fucking eyes gouged out. Except for the wrong reason. I have a bad feeling, you know? Did PunPun say anything weird to you? Well, with school and job hunting, I haven't seen him much lately. But I think you're the person he's opened up to the most, Sachi. I know it's corny, but I feel like there's kind of a bond between you two. You know, a pretty strong one. Yeah, like maybe. They say the stronger the bond, the more likely it will shatter from a tiny crack. I asked you before, but why don't the two of you date? Ew, we can't be like that now. Yes, you can, actually. You are super girly, Sachi. Shut up. Ugh, it's such an unfortunate reality that women are capable of doing that. Men are capable of doing it too, but by and large, in broad strokes, as far as I can tell, women do it a lot. Once you're a friend, it ain't happening. I don't know how it works. I don't have an explanation for it. It's just something that I've observed and experienced, so. Well, I'm sure Onati will come back. He just wants to be by himself sometimes. So cold. Aren't you supposed to be his friend? I am, so I know. There's no point in getting worked up. I believe in him. Or rather, I have to believe in him. If it turns out he's been in Thailand getting a sex change and big boobs, I wouldn't be surprised. That's their relationship. I respect his standoffishness. I'm me and he's PunPun. Being up in each other's business isn't the only way to be a friend. Yeah. I've been getting up in my friend's business. Because, I think that's the better way to be a friend. It might not be the only way, and people need both kinds of friends, but one's more like an acquaintance, and one's more like a friend. With a capital fuck. You. I fucking hate you, you beautiful bastard. That kind of friend, that's who I want to be. I want to be the kind of friend who people might become not friends with, but become better people. And that might be worth it. It's fucked up, right? Mabora! What? I get it, but I can't just wait around for him. Yeah, there you go. You know, your worrying doesn't look like kindness to me. It looks like you're trying to protect your pride, but I think that's what you need right now. When Onati comes back, you should be more honest with yourself. Yeah, we'll see if it's even possible. Anyway, Onati will absolutely, positively come back. I don't plan for all the time we've spent together to become just a memory. Well, you can't make plans that involve other people unless you speak to the other people, and you can't speak to that other people right now. I get this face from Sachi, and I don't know what it is. And clouds brew over the city, and I don't know what's going on. Oh. No, I just started my period. Huff, huff. It's because I closed. I don't know. Did they gouge it out? Huff, huff. Ow. And they're out. And he's got a big fucking hole in his head. June 23rd, morning. The jacket's off, only the shirt now. Stripes of white and black on him, stripes of light on her legs. An endless expanse of sea on one side, and the world, the civilized world, on the other. The sun was so fucking ingenious. Because that's the hole that was in the rock before that he saw Aiko through, and now he's got only one eye where he can see only one goal, right? That's the idea. Driven toward one thing, not two. Insane. The metaphor of the eye gouging I'm not going to get soon. It's going to take me a while. Reflections. The Great Music Box. Morning. 4 p.m. Cityscape. I wonder if we could find them tiny in there. I doubt it. Kyoto. I haven't been here since our middle school class trip. I really don't remember much about middle school. Me neither. I'm not in contact with anyone from back then. She holds onto the little goofy doll. Happiness, luck, prosperity, little prayers. Doesn't feel right to be this relaxed. A square cut out. Gosh, what the fuck? You in a rush or something? Everyone rushing by them. No. Made in prison. Part of the proceeds to victims' support organizations. Wow. Heh. 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 And he looks around with his one square eye. Heh. Heh. Is he bleeding out? Punishment, darkness. Bleeding through the eye. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Punishment. His closed eye sees truth. Mom, Dad, the squad of kids. The rival, the lust, the love. Mimura, the old man. Sachi, himself. And Aiko? No. And Planet Punpunia. Alone on his little dream world, with his little dream house and his little picket fence. One eye, one square. Are you awake? You need to get more sleep. You have a fever and that wound on your leg. Don't push yourself. You've hardly slept at all the last couple of days, right? I'm afraid if I sleep, I'll wake up from this dream. Isn't that backwards? You're strange. It's not backwards. When reality feels like a dream, sleep is a scary thing because there are nightmares there and it's a real reality. She puts her hands around his neck. What? Harder. If I do, you'll die. That's why you should press harder. What are you saying? Please. What am I going to do if I'm all alone? What the fuck is that? He's got dots trailing through his hole. Early this morning in the Tokyo district of... That's where. A reported robbery. The suspect is in his 30s or to 40s with long hair and a beard wearing glasses with black frames. Ha, ha. The district has been rocked in recent days by similar robberies. The police are investigating the possibility that they've been committed by the same person. It's okay. It's not related. Ta. Yeah, welcome to fucking punishment. Remember we talked about hell? Raskolnikov. Ras-fucking-Kalnikov. And it's like, when we go back to punishment here, when I see this word punishment, I don't see punishment. I see crime and punishment Dostoevsky. Because I've read that book of Dostoevsky's. It's the only one of his I've read, and I've got more in my fucking Amazon shopping cart, and I need to buy them, but I've read Crime and Punishment, and I've read what Raskolnikov does, and I've read what happens to him, and it's what PunPun does, and it's the same damn story. Now, it's different, but it's the same damn story. There's a girl who's mistreated by an evil woman, and the boy falls in love with her, and he's fucked. His whole life is fucked, and he decides maybe she's like the worst person. And he goes, maybe it would be worthwhile for me to kill her, is the idea that he comes up with. And he comes up with a plan, and he does it carefully. And he does it, and he saves the girl from her evil, tyrannical mother. But he commits the sin. He commits the crime of murder. And he does it. And he goes from okay, suffering, purgatory, you might say, haven't done something to have your fate decided yet, to hell. And hell is not a place of fire and brimstone at the Earth's core where you magically get teleported after you die because Santa said you're naughty. Hell is here, and it's real, and some of you have already been there. If you've ever been betrayed, you know what hell feels like. And if you've ever done the betraying, you know what hell feels like. And when you're a liar, you get a little taste of hell. But man, I've never killed somebody. I've never killed somebody, and I never will if I can goddamn help it. Because I know that this is where you end up. And I know that because a man 100 years ago or something. When did Dostoevsky write that shit? Let me not misinform you. 1866, 160 years ago. A little while, 2 generations ago, somebody wrote this story about murder and what happens to you. And so we see it in her, right? Because any indication that you're in trouble, she is traumatized, and she's right back there, and she's a child, and goddamn, Inyo Asano makes her into a babbling child here. Bam, bam. You know, Aiko. I may be the most backwards thinker, but I feel like now I can run faster than anyone. If you run backwards, you won't see the cliff coming up behind you. I don't get it. They look up at all these ads. So detailed from Asano. I'm happy that I've become such a strong person. Bang! Thank you for the hopelessness, Aiko. Oh, I don't get that either. At the same time, I guess I do, actually. Actually, I do. I've had one psychic break, like real psychological break in my life. It was when I was in San Francisco. And I've told parts of the story, but I don't think I've told this part. It was when I reached the edge. When I'd gone to the interviews, and I'd tried to find work, and I'd done everything I could, and I couldn't pay the next month's rent. And I asked the last people on my list of people that I might ask for help, and they refused me. And so I sat on my floor in my overly expensive home in San Francisco because living prices are obscene, knowing that I couldn't stay, knowing that I couldn't go anywhere, having failed completely, hopeless completely, broke completely, feeling like I had nothing. Even when my dog died, which was a couple of years later, even when my dog died and I broke down because of that, I didn't break. But that day I laughed. I mean, I found myself just giggling on the floor. Just found it so funny. Because I hit hopelessness. Rock bottom. Real rock bottom. People say stupid things about that. They say that the only way to go is up, and that's not true. It's not true. Because I could have walked out onto the street and just been gone, man. Nobody ever would have seen me again. But the place of hopelessness is also the place of infinite potential. Because if nothing you do matters, and this is the positive nihilist idea, if nothing you do matters, you might as well do what you want. You might as well pursue what's worthwhile. If you're gonna die in a month, you might as well spend that month doing whatever you need to. And so I did. And I ate some humble pie. And I told my parents that I failed. That hurt. And they berated me for it. My father was not pleased. And he hurt me again. Basically, I was like getting up off the ground from a boxing match and he punched me down again. In a sort of a how dare you impose on me sort of sense. It's like, well, I don't have a choice. But I reach real hopelessness. That is a magical place, I guess. It is a place that makes you stronger. It's probably the reason that I've hit some hard moments since then, and I haven't hit that level before because I've explored that territory, and I don't think I'll ever get close to it again. Now, that said, I might fall in love with a person, and then that person might get cancer a year later, intractably, and die, and that might do me in. So that's something to know about the world, is that you're not that strong. You're about as strong as the pain you've been able to handle and get back up from, or something like that. And so I'm pretty strong. I think I've experienced, my failures are small failures, but they're big failures too. It's all relative. God, the metaphor of the eye gouge out, I still don't get it. Because it's unseeing. But there's a truth to it that is when you can't see, you see. When you're blind, you can see. The blind man is the greatest, has the best sight. It's weird. I don't know how that works. There's something to it. Anyway. Sachi, that's why I told you to be honest with yourself. Ooh, Kanye, that's meaty. Sometimes you just realize something too late. It happens. I don't know. Hello? Punpun's friends. Let me see. As far as I know, he didn't have a girlfriend in high school. I think that goes without saying. Well, that bleak personality. Oh, actually, he didn't stand out during high school, but no one said anything bad about him either. I figured his lack of self-confidence stemmed from some kind of high school trauma. Well, I think he was too serious. You could even say stubborn. He seemed incapable of lying. So that's what you liked about PunPun? No, not that kind of like. You know, when you just get to high school and you want to act all grown up? Hey, big sister, did you hear that? Your little sister's insinuations destroyed a guy's reputation. Who cares? Well. But even after we had our fight, he still talked to me. And when a group of us went out, we hung out together. Maybe he was trying hard not to make it awkward any more awkward. Yeah, but I thought he was just a really nice guy. Well, he didn't. He didn't. And you know, if you'd said any of that to him, his life would be different. Because what he took away from your interactions was that he's a monster and he can't be forgiven, mostly. Even though you guys did talk eventually and, like, dealt with some of it. Damn, though. If only you'd spoken to some of this before his funeral. Because that's what this feels like. It feels like an obituary. He's gone and we don't know where he's gone, so let's say our words about him so that we can put it to rest. That's how it feels. Huh, I had no idea PunPun could be so sensitive. Actually, he's too sensitive and it has the opposite effect. Yep, too empathetic. Let's not even talk about arrogant guys who lack objectivity. The way I see it, PunPun has low self-esteem. I think it's because he's excessively self-conscious. Yup, it would be so much easier if he'd just learned to make fun of people. It's not easy being kind. If he tries being pompous with me, I'll smack him. Really? I think he's got it pretty together. Ha! He just works part-time, but he's supporting himself and studying for his real estate license, and he doesn't complain about it. He's much better than someone who has talent but spends all his time talking himself up. But, of course, it wouldn't be good for you if PunPun got confident. You need to keep him in the palm of your hand. You pamper or scold him when it's convenient for you, so he's under the delusion that you're the only one who understands him. Do you really think you understand the kind of person PunPun is? It's a pity you're only able to relate to people through arrogance. Holy shit, Kanye. That was a peel back the layers and slice you in half moment. What the fuck? Just toss her into the fire, why don't you? Oh my god. That's what some women do to their men. And that's what the Oedipal mother does to her daughter, to her son. That's what the Oedipal mother does to her son. It would be bad for you if your child got too confident. You need to keep the child in the palm of your hand. So you pamper or scold him when it's convenient for you, so that he's under the delusion that you're the only one who understands him and ever will. But do you really think you understand the kind of person that child is? Ooh, baby, that is exactly what the Oedipal mother situation is. The need for control, the desire to protect. Whoa, ho, ho. It's a pity you're only able to relate to people through arrogance. What a fucking thing. So you think PunPun can make it on his own? Pushing your own agenda again. You view people too much through the lens of your own agenda. I'm saying it's silly to judge someone's character based only on what you see. There's more to me than just fat. So, has something... Okay, we gotta jump back. You view people too much through the lens of your own agenda. So, what it is, you think PunPun can make it on his own? What does make it mean? I've been arguing this with some of my fan base. What does making it mean? Because I'll bring up things like, well, I put up a poll on which do you prefer more, the reaction or the discussion. And it's a false dichotomy. Which is more compelling to you, the reaction or the discussion? False dichotomy, it's always both. And what happened is, the votes are mostly reaction, and then like 30% of the votes are for the discussion. And then every single comment down below is somebody a little bit upset that I made them choose between them and going, no, it's both. What do you mean? You can't make just one. But I pointed out that, well, there are lots of YouTubers who make just one of one, and lots of YouTubers who make just one of the other. Lots of pure, some people call them emoji reactors or hypebeast reactors who do no discussion, just a pure reaction, or react to like opening sequences and stuff. And some of those are pretty popular. And there are a lot of people who do just video essays, long-form analytical content. And those are pretty popular. But I don't do that. I do both. And some people want both. And that's weird. Why is it compelling? I don't know. But, you know, I say they're more popular. And somebody in my Discord said, well, you're just playing the YouTube game wrong. And they're right. From their perspective. And perhaps from YouTube's perspective, and certainly from the perspective of the mass millions, right? Because if I were playing the YouTube game from the perspective of mass millions, and we presume that there's something compelling about my content, which there is, I presume that from the outset. I think my content is compelling. I have to believe in it, right? I won't believe otherwise. I think that I am worthwhile. I am worthy of existence, and I should be paid for my existence, and I'm capable of producing works of meta art, which is what I produce. Criticism is meta art. I'm capable of producing works of meta art that prove the worth of my existence well enough for it to actually support my existence when I ask for money from people. Something like that. But according to the YouTube algorithm, I'm absolutely not, quote-unquote, making it. You know? 3-4 years of YouTube channel and you've only got 30,000 subscribers? What are you doing? What are you doing? What the fuck is that? That's not good enough. Yeah, but what's the percentage of those subscribers who are patrons? The percentage, not the number, the percentage. Well, it's about 1,000. So it's 1/30th. I don't know that off the top of my head. So it's 3 and 1/3%. Oh, they don't show anymore. That's unfortunate. I disagree with that heavily, Semblance of Sanity. And I'd be glad if somebody would send this to them. You should not be hiding how much money you are making, Semblance of Sanity. That is illogical. You should show the money that you make. Because you're making more than you're worth, actually. You used to show that number, and I think you're embarrassed by how much money you're making, and so you've stopped showing that number, and it's a lie, and you are liars for doing it. And if I'm wrong and I'm just missing it, then forgive me, I'm sorry, but you know that that's true, and you need to show that, again. That's a really bad move, y'all. Well, I was going to use them as an example and see what percentage they were at, but that's irrelevant now, because they don't show it. But I wonder how good 3% is, because 3% seems pretty good to me. Seems pretty good. And the money that I make seems to be pretty good. So at least it's enough. At least it's enough for me to survive. Barely. And I mean barely. I'm not doing great. And that's crazy, because that tells you something about the cost of living and about inflation in the United States right now. That's scary. And I need to get somewhere else. I don't know where. But what does can make it mean? Does it mean 100,000 views on videos? What if the videos don't have anything useful in them? What if I got 1 million views on a video, but it was because it was a piece of trash video that was clickbait? Now, clickbait has its own value, but I think it's actually also a lie. Because what you do is you lie about what's in the content of your video to bait people into clicking on it. And we hate it. It's wrong. So maybe I would be making it more if I made clickbait thumbnails, but I don't. I make very specific types of thumbnails that show precisely what's in the video. I add to the best of my ability. And I think that's why the percentage of conversions from people who see my videos and people who subscribe to my videos to people who give me money actively for Patreon access. That's why the conversion rate is so high. It's because I'm honest and people value it actually. And because I pay attention and people value it actually. And really, at core is because I try my best actually. And I mean it. I mean, like, I really, really try my best to grapple with every part of this. And I try to make the videos as accessible as possible. And I try to make them as good as possible and as concise as possible. And I fail all the time, but I try constantly. And I think people value it. I think. It's a hypothesis. I had a theory that I could make my own definition of making it. And now I've been pursuing it, and it's been working okay. Theory has not been denied so far. I'm still surviving, so that's good. But other people look at me, and they very often will say, you are not making it. What are you doing? And that's their own agenda. Seeing through one lens. Wow. So, has something happened to PunPun? No, not really. You're going out with him, right? No. But everybody thinks that she is, and everybody thinks that she should be, because everybody's recognized this pattern that she refuses to recognize, right? And the pattern is that PunPun should have been with Sachi. But he went back to Aiko because he's obsessed with Aiko. And fair enough. I'm not one to judge PunPun, really. Oh, Misuzu, where's your dad? I'm sure he's chatting up some old ladies in the physical therapy room. Little cats. Ah, there he is. Hi. My dad's gotten a lot better the last few months. Actually, he's gotten chattier. It's getting on my nerves. I haven't talked to him so much since I was little. The paralysis in his legs is probably permanent, so I'm dreading what's coming, but I keep telling myself it's better than having him go suddenly. You know that mountain of lucky cats in his room? PunPun brought them all. I have no idea where he found them, but he'd come by 2 or 3 times a week. What? PunPun came that often? Yeah, he'd always stop off at the office on the way home and study for his license. He hasn't come back yet? We're looking for him. I hope he comes back soon. My dad misses him. Here, this is his key. Whoa. Because this woman is a hateful monster from what we've seen, right? She's the worst. And first off, a tragedy has happened to her, and she seems to be connected to her father better. But also she demonstrates that she's a person underneath. I hope he comes back soon. My dad misses him. Whoa. If anything looks out of place, call the police, okay? He's got his real estate exam and MS Office Specialist certification coming up, and he's still got some driving lessons left. I can't have him mixed up in something unsavory at this critical juncture, so she's still thinking selfishly, but okay. He tries to act nonchalant. He purposely acts stupid so he can hide how hard he's trying. Yep. But even so, I can tell how seriously he's working. I'm planning to introduce him to some of my colleagues. So here we go. She's a hateful monster, and then she's watching as well. Ugh. A lot of people who are like this. They treat you like shit, and then they give you some respect, and you're like, what the fuck is that? And they go, well, you didn't deserve anything, and you hadn't proven yourself, and now you have, and here you go. I did that with my roommate, and I told him about it today, because he hadn't put it together. I've owned a Ninja blender for about 6 months now, something like that. I've owned a nice Ninja blender, and it's hard to clean. It's a difficult blender to clean, because it's got the big apparatus of blade apparatus, and I didn't let anybody else clean it. Specifically, I didn't let my roommate clean it because he's not that bright. I mean it. I really mean it. I thought he was going to cut himself. And that's not fair, but I was pretty sure he was going to cut himself. It was only a few weeks ago that I gave him, I told him, I trust you, clean the blender. You can do it. You can do this yourself. And he didn't realize what I was doing, but he cleaned the blender. And over the past couple of weeks, he's made smoothies for himself alone. With permission, because it's my fruit and my milk and stuff and my protein powder, and my blender with permission. But he's done it on his own, and he's asked me, "Hey, can I make a smoothie? I really feel like I could use a protein shake or a smoothie or something." I'm like, "Yeah, totally, man. Go for it." Whereas that wasn't a possibility before, because then he would have to impose on me to clean the blender. Now this sounds silly, but it's really, this is serious business. He was not worthy of touching that piece of equipment. He was not worthy. He would have broken it or broken himself. Hell, his mother broke the damn thing. Mother broke the damn thing, and she's somebody who I would trust to clean something like that. And she cut herself on it, so there you go. There are reasons that I wouldn't trust someone who has not demonstrated the proper care for things. So I gave him the trust a couple weeks ago, and it's worked. It's the same idea. I'm being judgmental and harsh. But I'm also watching, and I'm watching for the good, too. The results of his computer exam should be here soon. I told him if he passed, I'd get him a PC. I didn't know any of this. Well, you're busy with your manga, right? He probably didn't want you to worry. What we hide from each other, it's Gifts of the Magi style. We hide our fears and our flaws. We find her sitting out in various places, alone. I wonder if I ever knew anything about PunPun. This is a serious process. I think people go through this process when their parents die all the time. Or when anybody around you dies. Because you find out who knew them and what they knew about them. And it's not what you thought. They were a different person than you think they were. And you find out that they were like, the times when they were getting home from work, they were going to like charities or volunteering or going and fucking a mistress. And you find out some crazy shit about people. And you're like, what the hell? You know, you go to your dad's. It's a funny reason. I love the movie. There are 2 versions of it. It's called Death at a Funeral. There's a version that got remade in America recently with in 2010. So it's an American black comedy film. And when I say black comedy film, I mean it's literally black comedy. It's a whole ensemble cast of black actors. Which is cool and reasonable. But they totally miss most of the jokes, I think. It's nowhere near it. Like, they tried to do British humor. They couldn't do British humor. But Death at a Funeral 2007, the original British movie, is a great movie because it's actually original and, well, it's good. It's a damn good film, actually. And a whole bunch of crazy shit happens, and mostly it's finding out stuff about the parent that has died at the funeral. And one of the things is like, well, his like, essentially his gay dominatrix shows up, and you find out some shit about your dad that you didn't know, and you're like, what? You find out some funny things. And now Punpun, to some extent, has died to Sachi, and she's trying to put the pieces together. And she's finding out that she never knew the person. His letters are all stacked up. Oh, flutter, flutter, flutter. PC certification. Kachuk. And enters. Mask. Some stuff. A bloodstain? From a sex? I think. What is he doing, that idiot? A mess. A phone. A plug. A certificate. You have successfully demonstrated the PC cert. Contacts 1. Midori Okuma. Pathetic. So he went and he bought a cell phone. Or is that the cell phone that she bought him? Maybe. Or maybe the cell phone that Midori bought him? I don't remember. But he left it behind and left the number in it. Pathetic. June 25th. I'm sorry to make you come all this way. Oh, no, I'm sorry for contacting you out of the blue. Here, have a seat. She's pregnant. So, like, very pregnant. So, Punpun was using this. Oh, it's Midori. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. That's why. Okay. So, Punpun was using the cell phone. He never picked up, so I assumed he wasn't. You're his friend from work, right? I'm Sachi. There he is. Sachi, I think you should hang on to this. I doubt he'd come here looking for his phone. Midori, you can bring it to his apartment. He hasn't come home in a while, and he's not going to work either. I'm worried. He doesn't like it when I interfere. I'm sure he's fine. Punpun is a good kid and very sensible. I don't fucking know about that, man. Have you had any contact with Punpun recently? The last time was when my husband called him at New Year's, so that was about 6 months ago. He told Punpun about the pregnancy. He was very excited. Oh, you're really big. I'm due next week, and she's pregnant too, right? I can't work for a while, but when I come back, I'm thinking of opening a second location. You should come with Punpun. Telephone, ma'am! I'm sorry. My wife has this tendency of not quite understanding what people are saying. She probably thinks the world revolves around her, and therefore everything will work out. It's wonderful. Sachi, and he takes the lenses off and shows his eyes. He has real eyes. Because he's opened his eyes. He's talked some things out, right? Like, Uncle Yuichi has figured some shit out in his life. Actually. You're not just his work friend, are you? I'm attached to Punpun for very selfish reasons. I'm sorry I don't know anything. Even though we're family, we've never had a tight bond. There was women's clothing in his room and blood on the bedding. There were semen-soaked tissues in the trash can. You went rummaging? I smelled them too. It's creepy, right? It's creepy, but I must say, it's also amazing. He's got one human eye and one dot eye. What? Like the one-eyed... Is he the one-eyed Daruma? Actually? No, it's Punpun. I don't know. Weird. Maybe he's half awake? Weird. And it's back. This is where Punpun lived until he was in middle school. That little home. New construction. The house wasn't that old. They must be well off if they're rebuilding. I'm sure a very happy family is moving in. Why did you bring me here? Looking back, I enjoyed the time I lived with Punpun. They were good years. Knowing that it couldn't last, well, maybe it let me pretend like we were a happy family. And he gives her a note. In exchange for my current stability, I've turned into a living corpse, and I'll continue to exist, clinging to hope in name only. I'm not going to deny it. This is one of the outcomes I wanted. I don't care what Punpun is doing or where he's doing it, as long as it's his choice. But I know what Punpun is really looking for. He's the silent type, but I think he really wanted to tell you what he was thinking and how he was feeling. If you're ready to take on that role, then you need to know Punpun better, because you are exactly like his mother. Wow. Punpun told me he wanted to introduce us to someone in the new year. I'm sure he meant you, Sachi. Yeah. Yeah, when they were exploring. and joyful and finding, and he was done with his dumb mustache. Whoosh. Snow. A different place, a different time. So she comes back to the scribbles of her ex-husband, whose eyes have been scribbled out. And she lays on bedding of black and white and gray stripes. 3 types of stripes, not 2. And I think she calls him, "What? You're pregnant?" Yeah, sorry. Oh no, the author, the editor. Sorry, I didn't tell you earlier. Oh, not at all. Congratulations, but I'm not sure what to do now. Do you have the issue that's going on sale the day after tomorrow? The editor-in-chief seems to like it and is suggesting a 2-volume series. Of course, I'll do it. Drawing. I'll need about 6 months to do 2 volumes. It's a chance to show what I'm made of. I'm a deeply flawed person, so I have to work 7 times harder than everyone else to get the same starting line. I'm going to sell. Sell and sell and sell. And then I'll finally be like everyone else. Ow! Ow! No, Sachi, and then you'll finally be like you fool. You can't hug fictional characters. Fuck! What does this say? Oh, you're writing a song? Let me have a look, okay? The impatience that plagued me has vanished. It's because of the strange animation that's been lighting Tanada's face. Ever since we graduated from college, the days seem to be going by faster. Suddenly it's August, unable to bear the record-breaking heat in the relentlessly shining sun. I finally gave in and bought us a shaved ice maker. I have no fucking deal what she's writing. Snip. Snip. She cuts half her hair off. Papa Punyama. Notice, balance, $1,600. Okay. Not a lot. Lucky cranes and lucky turtles, lucky cranes and lucky turtles, lucky cranes and lucky turtles, 1 eye. Nirokoshi. We may have to sleep in the car for a while. What about my I'm sorry kiss? I'm sorry. That's not it. 5 p.m. Night. It's raining again. It always happens. I can't see the Milky Way. It's so sad to think of them separated. Huff, 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 huff. Pills. Ah, ah, ah. Ha ha ha. Free makeup? Something like that. I don't know what the pills are, really. Is he, I mean, are they drugs? Drugs? Nice little bag. A knife. What are you doing? I'm writing down my wishes. Stop it. That's just silly. What a tacky bag. Okay, so here I'm just gonna say something. This is man, woman, stars, Milky Way, right? This is ideals. She's embarrassed by it, but she purchases it. And then over at the knife. She doesn't buy a knife, she buys a pen, maybe. And she's writing down her wishes for Tanabata. Again, we're back here. And he dismisses all of it. You're being silly. I don't like wishes. Punpun. Stop it. You're pissing me off. I hope money and the limits cease to exist. I want melon bread to be spherical like real melons. Conquer the world, 6th grade class, blah, blah. Wait a minute, I'm thinking. Aiko. I told you, I hope I can become a scientist that studies outer space. That's him. I told you to stop. And he drags her out. No! Don't want to! Ugh, gah! Crying. It's fine. Just a lover's quarrel. And everybody looks at him. Quit staring, you idiots. Clack, 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 clack. Manga cafe for him to buy an internet cafe. Punpun, your back is hot. Is your fever back? You need to get some sleep. Murder prison term. We'll be in Kagoshima soon. Let's find a room as soon as we get there. Aiko, fleeing murder. Punpun, don't die. It's not okay to die. How to commit suicide. Aiko, why did I kill someone? Train tracks to Fukushima. And with her haircut, God, she's gorgeous. Fuck. She's going to seek his father, right? Died at 28, become a legend, but people like that are rare. People die eventually who knew them. So do the people who knew them. I'm not afraid of dying. No one is afraid of dying. It's just that I want to see your smiling face. I won't see your smiling face or your suffering. That makes me sad. Crying. You're a nice person. It's nothing but sad. Ha ha ha. Don't look at me like that. Your smile is your best feature. Don't go out of your way to ask. It's one thing to hurry up and live, but another to die quickly. It's silly to hurry up and die because of that. Boom. Boom. Oh, Mr. Punyama? He's out driving our clients, but he'll be back soon. Mr. Punyama, you have a visitor, a young woman from Tokyo. Ah, I see. It's not him. Well, hi there! Oh my god, he's helping people? Is that what he's doing with his life? Yuichi filled me in. Punpun walked out on you, did he? Well, you do look like a strong-minded girl. Living together is complicated when you're young. No. Yeah, something like that. Maybe he's off traveling somewhere far away, but I doubt he'd come here. I haven't seen him since his mother passed away. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't like me. You think? Well, but Punpun, I never thought he'd have a beautiful girlfriend like you, Miss Nishimura. It's Nanjo, right? He's terrible with names. Oh, yeah, so Yuichi tells me you want to know about Punpun when he was little. Yes, if you don't mind. Well, my memory is really bad these days. Punpun was an active child who talked a lot. I might be biased because I'm his father, but he matured faster than the other kids and was smart and popular. Pah, no. Well, that was unexpected. Miss Nishimura, I live just over there. You came all this way. Come and rest a bit. She is not okay. That's what I fucking thought, man. Y'all don't have penicillin? Oh my god, he finds it. Excuse me, how much is this? The new talent you've been waiting for, Sachi Nanjo. Hey, I'm in a hurry. What's wrong with you? You work here, right? I'm sorry, I'm on the phone with a supplier. I want to pay for my food. Or do you just want me to take it? Yeah. Oh, jeez. Excuse me. Yeah? Is that manga any good? This? No, it's boring. None of the characters get it. Wow, a reflection of him, right? Go get your manager. I just want to pay for this. Gah! This guy out in the rain, and you out in the rain with him. Uh-oh, what are you gonna do, Punpun? He follows. I'm sorry it's a mess. Just sit anywhere. Please, don't go into any trouble. I'm sure I have some cookies around here somewhere. Punyama, are you home? Who's she? She's my girlfriend. What's she doing here? Well, it's a little complicated. Here, let me introduce you. Miss Nanjo. These are my local fishing pals. Hello, hey. That's messed up. Do a proper introduction. So he's made friends. He's living a life. Kids. And he's got vicarious kids to live with. Oh, they ran away. They don't see pretty girls like you very often. They must have gotten shy. Actually, Sachi, everyone here is divorced. My job, my cheap rent, I owe it all to these guys here. Fucking MGTOW out here? What the fuck? What? We have a lot of evenings free, so we get together all the time. Punyama, if I'd known you'd have had company, I would have brought more booze. Ready? Cheers, kampai! Did you want something? Littering is bad. And he hands it to him. Oh, I'm sorry. Punpun? There's no point in apologizing. Huh? An apology is useless unless you understand how small selfish acts like this negatively affect other people. So he is the black dot calling them black dots. Oh, the black dot is the dot in the eye of the Daruma that determines its goal. Oh. Oh. Okay. The trash can at that store is always full. I've tried to get them to notice, but it never gets better. So it's the store's fault. It's society's fault. Don't you think disposing of a can bought at their store falls within the bounds of customer service? But you didn't check to see if the trash was full tonight. No, but it usually is. But you didn't check tonight. You've not followed the rules. And PunPun is furious and he might kill this man. Okay, I get it. Let's go back and check. It's possible I could have thrown it away, but if the trash can is full, will you admit this is harassment and apologize? Will you take responsibility for harassing me and wasting my time? Quit splitting hairs. I'm just telling you to dispose of your trash properly. Hey, there were lots of other people in that store that you could have bothered. Why me? You picked the wrong person to get self-righteous with. Don't change the subject. Fine. I'll throw this away in the trash can by the vending machine up the road. Does that work for you? But think about it. Of all the people in that convenience store, including you and me, who's the weirdest? What are you saying? It's not what I'm saying. I want you to realize it doesn't matter anymore. It's really ridiculous. But when I think about how someone like you lives his selfish brand of misguided justice, I'm beyond anger. It just saddens me. He begins to walk and PunPun picks up a large stick. You talk too much. Oh? People like you piss me off. People like you piss me off the most. The bamboo leaves are swaying in the eaves. Ha-ha! That's great! Bravo! Is that for the kindergarten play? So we've got bright brilliance and the possibility of a future, and PunPun's about to do it again. Kaede is the princess, and Tenma is shooting star number 1. Oops, I guess he's embarrassed by that. Shooting stars are great! I think they're cool. Oh look, he likes me all of a sudden. Hee, kids are so warm. Embarrassed by the shooting stars, eh? Oh, I remember now. It must have been about when PunPun was in 2nd grade. He's disappeared before, you see. He was chasing a shooting star. That time they found him in the next town. We were in a state all day. This kid, Watanabe, was PunPun's best friend, told everybody, I caught a shooting star. It was a harmless fib from a child. Fuck! I think PunPun didn't want Watanabe to be a liar. When the news announced a meteor shower, the two of them set off to look for a shooting star. He didn't want the other person to be a liar so much that he'll kill for it. But they must have gotten separated. PunPun ended up in the next town, and Watanabe got hit by a scooter at a highway crossing and was taken into protective custody. I don't remember well enough to remember if that's what happened. Huff, huff, huff. Ow! Ow! Ah! Ah! It wasn't serious, but Watanabe started ditching school after that. It really affected PunPun. In a way, he blamed himself, so we just discovered there's an underlying trauma that hasn't been revealed. Fuck. PunPun. Whack, 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 whack. He was worried that another person would get hurt because of him. After that, he retreated. He got quiet and had trouble expressing his emotions. He didn't have many friends. One eye. Blind. His eyes are not opened by this. His goal is singular. He was a kind kid. He really cared. But you know, some pain can't be healed by kindness. I wanted to teach him that you need to be a little cunning to have a good life. You need to be a little irresponsible, but he's stubborn, so I didn't interfere when he made up his mind about something. Was I wrong? Yes, I must have been. Because I have regrets. What's the point of my life? Hey! What's wrong, Punyama? You're being so sentimental. The point of your life is self-evident. You never let your memories trouble you. That's the problem. They have to. And it's PunPun's problem, too. He cares too much. He's actually right. He cares too much. And that's an absolute. PunPun, don't! PunPun, stop it! Let's go, okay? She said the name, and he saw the face. This guy's alive. Ksh. Beautiful. One eye, and a butterfly. I'll go one more. Huh? We'll drive you. It's kind of far to the station. He hasn't been drinking tonight. No, I'll call a taxi. You sure? Do you want me to wake up Punyama? No, I feel like I forced him to tell me more than he wanted to. Don't worry about it. He'll have forgotten all about it by tomorrow. Mr. Punyama always says, I'm the happiest right in this moment. With children that aren't his around him because he couldn't raise his own. Fuck. Fuck you, Asano. Absolutely fuck you, man. Kanye, you're my friend. Please help me out. I just need you to do some backgrounds this weekend. Sure, I'll help. So, how was Fukushima? It's like I thought. I'm the one who needs to protect PunPun. Huh, I see. Well, she went out there and she proved it to herself at least. Hugo concert hall. Clacka, clacka, clacka. I hear a train. Let's walk. I want to get away from here before the last train leaves. Aiko. Huh? I just meant to scare him, but he came at me with a cinder block. No, he didn't. If I hadn't defended myself, he might have killed me. I didn't do anything wrong. PunPun, you're kind of strange. And everyone else is really strange. Liar. That's what my mother used to say. Oh boy. You don't want that ever. Here's a phrase you should never use in any relationship, ever. You're just like my father, mother. Never, ever. Never, ever, ever. In fact, you're just like XYZ person. Do not ever say it. If you hear "you're just like" coming out of your mouth, slap yourself in the fucking face. I mean it. Because that relationship is done the moment you say it. But more importantly, this is a deflection. You're kind of strange. Well, I guess everyone else is way weirder. Nah, man. That's what my mother used to say. When they open, let's get a room immediately. I want to sleep and change my clothes. I'm tired. Kagoshima is really far. The night falls. The mountains above. Is this dream? This is dream. But if I think it's going to perish, it will perish. So do what you want in your teens, save lots of money, and spend it all in your 20s. Sorry, I need to say goodbye now. See you tomorrow, she says to a picture of herself. She looks in a reflection. Aiko, it's okay, you are cursed. I'm going to hang in there. If my dream comes true, I'll be okay dying right then and there, and her mother is behind her. And she sleeps. She wakes alone? PunPun? PunPun? PunPun, I told you not to leave me like that. What are you doing? You left your wallet and backpack behind. And you should be sleeping. What were you doing? Tanegashima? Sure, okay. Let's go. Ha 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 ha. Ah. So it's Kagoshima Prefecture, but you gotta take a boat. It's a separate island. Got it. Let's get off the mainland. Let's go somewhere else. And so they're waiting for a boat. And that's correct, actually. Mythologically, that's correct. You gotta get on a boat. At least in the Judeo-Christian tradition. You get on a boat and you escape the flood. And that's the Mesopotamian tradition, too, because there's a flood myth in Gilgamesh. So, it's an old tradition. When shit gets wrong, you gotta get on a boat and get your family. The problem is, you can't run from yourself. And the world ain't what's wrong, PunPun is. Hands clasped, up on the boat. And away they go. That's where we're going to leave off. We've got an hour down. We've read about 100 pages. Maybe 70, I don't care. Maybe next time we'll get the next 130 together and we'll see where they end up. This is Omnibus Volume 6. And then there's only Omnibus Volume 7. It's half the size. So there's not that much PunPun left. This is hell now. And it is a damn good depiction. Having Sachinanjo play detective and piece together who PunPun is fascinating. And I really wonder, because we're going to watch her follow this trail, I think. Because she's not going to rest until she's figured it out. She's driven. I really wonder how bad things are going to get. I really wonder if Aiko is actually dying. I don't know what pills she's taken. They might be medicine. And they might be enough. But I don't know. They're changing the bandages at least, so that's something. But I don't know if PunPun's infected with his leg wound either. He might be. And he keeps getting feverish and he's not getting treatment. And so Sachinanjo might show up to save his life, and she might show up to find him dead. Or imprisoned. And I don't know. And I don't know what he deserves. Well, he thinks he might deserve dead. And he thinks he might deserve prison. He's done the thing. He's done the sin. There's no going back from murder, man. I gotta read Crime and Punishment again for Raskolnikov. It's exactly it. It's exactly the story, and I hadn't clicked it yet. The black dot is the one eye. And PunPun with the one eye, man. Oh, man. This is a hell of a story you've written, Asano. Thank you for it, you fucking asshole. Sometimes an artist sees something fundamental about humanity, and they write it out and they articulate it in a way that's just truly mind-blowing, and this is a piece of work already. We knew that from a long time ago, but man. Man, it's a lot. It's part of why it's so hard to look at. You know, I can count on one hand the number of pieces of media that affect me like this one does consistently. Okay, we'll wrap there. Thank you for watching. Don't kill people. Don't kill yourself. Being is good. Go watch the video called Being is Good. Please. Please, 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 please. Don't kill people. Don't kill yourself. And don't kill dreams if you can help it. I love you. I really do. You weird people that I don't even know. How strange it is that we have this connection. And I don't know you. And you don't really know me because you can only see this one angle. So all I can do is promise you that I'm acting and showing as much of myself as I can. And I'm taking as much responsibility for my actions as I possibly can. And I'm saying things as well as I possibly can. There are enemies out there and they're not people. They're not each other. They're not even quite hatred. They're psychological, they're mental. They're parasites and they're killing people. They're killing people and it's a bigger enemy than me. I don't know how to fight it. But I take solace in the fact that Inio Asano is better than me and he's fighting it by showing it. Because the enemy's invisible. The real enemy is fucking invisible, and it's a parasite and it's in your mind, and you are capable of it. And this great artist realized it and tried to show us. And thousands of other artists have realized it and tried to show us, and listen. I love you. Peace.